I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
No,
In the
so
US, I doubt it because we print our own currency. But what about Canada?
yeah, so I think it's gonna work like this. Yeah, like again, I'm sticking to the same narrative of like disaster is coming. The way it comes to each country will be different, right? So, for example, like Canada and America, although we're scared over here now, right? But um, the way every country is going to be eaten is going to be slowly. So Canada and America are like on shore. They're like, how do I explain this? They're like on the beach while every other country is like in the water already, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But the water will rise and it will eventually eat, America or Canada, or there'll be a threat. The water will be a threat to America and Canada as it rises. But as it rises, the other countries will just drown. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So you're seeing it every couple of weeks. You will, if you really truly did your timeline properly, and I've been watching this every couple of weeks. There's a new country that goes insolvent. That like their money's worthless, okay, and they struggle, and they like El Salvador. They just randomly is like, hey, out of nowhere, yeah, Bitcoin is our official El Salvadorian currency. Jamaica did the same thing. Just overnight, like, hey, what's up? Bitcoin's our currency now. You know,
wow.
uh, so Sri Lanka has fallen. Nigeria has fallen, and then part of these changes they tell you. Nigeria said, and China has even done it as well. All the money you have in the bank, you have X amount of time to spend it because it's just going to be worthless anyway.
That's what I was reading about the this new currency they want to implant on the U.S. They want to use blockchain technology
Hmm.
so they can track pretty much everything you do.
Hmm.
So I'm assuming that at some point you're gonna have a certain amount of money in the bank, and the
Yep.
government's gonna be like, okay, you have till 12 o'clock to spend it all,
Hmm.
or you won't be able to spend any. But they're
Hmm.
gonna be curfews, so up
Yep.
until what time you can use your
Yep.
money. That
Yep.
is complete autonomous violation of any human right that you could possibly have.
Right. And you know what? Going back to the whole satanic ritual thing, they tell you this. They don't implement it. They ask. They simply just say, "What do you think about a 15-minute city?" Well, what do you think? We're just gonna try it over here. They literally just come in and put it in, and they just wait. If and here's the truth, if and I really really hope that this gets soundbited. I really hope if there's 1,000 viewers, I want this part to be soundbited. Okay, because this is probably the most important part of this podcast here. Okay, the devil and their satanic rituals, they will simply request, "Is this okay, society?" If society as a whole comes together and fights back and says, "No, this is not okay," the devil will go away. He won't even fight back. It is part of their rules. This is their rule. They're not allowed to implement nothing that society collectively rejects. Everything that is still here from a devilish point of view is only still here because society hasn't pushed it away yet. For example, look at something as stupid as the masks in COVID. Okay? Think about it. Every single time you went, think about this for a fucking second. You had 50-year-old men, like all these adults go to the grocery store to go fetch groceries for their family. And then all of a sudden
Mhm.
you have a 16-year-old boy at the front reminding the adult who is 3, 4 times their age to put on a mask. A 16-year-old boy has been instructed to stand there and annoy each and every person that walks in. And not the reason why that boy never went away and headquarters never took him away was because the people walking in never made it a problem back. They never said, "No, go
Mhm.
fuck yourself," or "No, I'm not putting it on. Thank you so much for your your what's it called, your worrying, whatever,
Assistance.
assistance,"
Yeah.
right? So if enough people, like the boy was put there to annoy one by one every person, but if one by one that person was annoying right back, that 16-year-old boy at the grocery store would not be there very, very, very soon. Instead, because society never fought back, and instead of fighting that person, that boy, and it's not the boy, instead of fighting the system, society decided to fight thy neighbor. And then inside the grocery store, everybody who wasn't wearing a mask, they were approached, hey, by society, not even by the employee. They were doing it for free. They're coming up to you saying, hey, that's very, very dangerous for you to take off that mask. So now they're a soldier to the idea that's being pushed onto them. And then we saw
mind virus.
Exactly. So that is why the mask bullshit, just the mask, we're not even talking about COVID, and then the 3-4 jabs plus 3 in a couple of years. We're not even talking about that. Just the masks alone only stayed there for 2 years because society allowed it as a whole. But there was no official announcement from the government to, okay, everybody, you can stop wearing your masks. It was brief. It was like, oh, by the way, just little. They just slid it in there, like when you're watching the news, you just see the ticker right here. That's how they slid it in. Like, oh yeah, by the way, you don't have to wear your mask anymore. Okay, thank you. But people got arrested. Kids, I saw policemen stop 12-year-old boys on their bike outside because they were not wearing a mask. This literally happened in Canada. Okay? It's crazy. Oh, and by the way, you don't need a mask anymore. Okay?
The Matrix.
Right.
Oh my God.
So that's the devil working. And as long as society, and you might be sitting there, people watching this, you might be sitting there going, well, how could society ever come together? We can't come together on anything. You need to just do your part. Stick to your beliefs. That's it. And as soon as you wave your flag in the air, somebody else who thinks like you will see you. And now you have two. But you need to be doing your part. You have to stop waiting for your neighbor to start. You are already, your frontal cortex, use that part. Your instinct. This doesn't sound right. This doesn't feel right. Okay? Based on what I see or what I feel, they're trying to infringe on my rights, on my freedom. And if I give that away, how can I get that back? Oh, I can't. So there's a saying, you can always say no until you say yes. I think that's an incredible line, and it's very, very true. One by one, just do your part. Don't worry about if the other person's doing it. Do your part, and then the other person will see. Period.
That is very, very, very interesting points on this particular subject. Now, let's lighten the mood for the audience, because we've been talking about politics for quite some time. It gets pretty tense. Let's talk about music. That is what you do. That is your specialty.
Yes.
Tell us something that we don't know about the music industry.